Today we're going to be canning some plums. I was given a nice big bag of plums 2 days ago, and they're starting to get a little overripe, so we need to get them done. First we need to wash them. There's a few bad ones in here, so we'll just take those away to the compost bin. Now there's two ways to can plums, really. You can can them whole and just poke them a little bit and put them in the jar. Or you can do what I'm doing, and I'm going to cut them in half to remove the pit. So before I continue with the plums, I'm just going to remove the lid from my apple butter that I've made. It's been cooking since 7:30 last night, and it's around 11:30 in the morning now, so a good 16 hours. I'm just gonna take the lid off, give it a stir, and then let it continue to cook until the canner's ready. It smells delicious. So here are the washed bowl full of plums. I had to remove a few of them because they were just way too soft and overripe. But yeah, this should make a nice treat for later. So you can just put the plum in the jar whole, but you have to make some holes in them first. I prefer to cut them in half and remove the pit first. It's really simple to do. Then you just put them in the jar. You just want to find the natural line in them. Take your knife and just open it up. And that one's a bit soft. I think we will skip that one. So we do have our jars nice and sterilized, and then we have our lids in the pot of water warming up and getting sterilized as well. You just continue this. You want to keep them and make them the jars as full as possible. So these plums were given to me by a coworker from his backyard tree. They were picked about 2 days ago, so they're nice and fresh. You really want to use the freshest fruit you can get, whether it's store-bought or homegrown. These have no sprays or pesticides on them, so they're nice and grown organically. The apples, which I used for the apple butter, same thing. They were picked about 2 days ago as well, and no sprays, no pesticides. But again, use store-bought if you need to. You want to make sure that you use good. This one's just a little bit overripe. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of mushy inside. So that is going to the not so good pile. You can even see on the seed it's got a little bit of a slime to it where the others don't. You want to make sure you use fresh, not too ripe fruit, because it's going to store possibly all over winter. So when you open that jar, you want it as fresh as possible. So I have about 15 plums going into each jar. I just want to make sure they're nice and packed in there. So this is what they look like when they're in the jars. It was about 15 plums in each jar. You want to make sure you use proper canning mason jars. And then we still have some left over, but I'm going to save those so that the kids have a nice fresh treat when they get home from school. So now we just have to fill them with the sugar water. I used about 5 cups of water and 2 cups of sugar. I don't like it too sweet. It's more of like a light syrup, I guess. The plums are fresh and they taste sweet enough, so they don't need a lot of sugar. So now we're going to fill the jars. I probably made way too much liquid, but too much is better than not enough, I always say. Go. So I always go and just go around and make sure all the air bubbles come out. Just makes them last a little bit longer, I find. And just go around. I don't know if you can see it, but the air bubbles just come up. Trying not to damage the plums as I do this. we go. Now it's important to wipe off the rims so that you get a proper seal. Now I'll just get the lids. So you don't want to put these rings on too tight, just finger tight. So we're going to put these in the water bath canner for about 15 minutes or so. And while we're doing that, we'll check on the apple butter. So there they are in the canner. We will check on them in 15-20 minutes or so. So back at the apple butter, looking absolutely delicious. Nice and thick, like you want it to be. Oops. So we put them on a towel so that they can cool. You don't want to put them directly onto a cold surface or the glass could shatter. Don't they look good? Okay, so now we're going to fill these jars with the apple butter. I've actually never made apple butter before, but I'm really glad I did. So I don't know if this is enough jars or what, but I do want to save some for later so that we can actually eat it right away too. So let's start off. Try not to get this blue funnel. Don't really want to waste any of this. But it looks and smells so good. Like delicious cinnamon apples. This crock pot was completely full when I started, and it just cooks down, gets all the water out, and makes this beautiful thick butter. We still have a few good scoopfuls left. which is perfect. So now I'm just going to wipe off the lids, or the rims, and put the lids on, and we're going to put them in the canner for about 10 minutes. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. I'm going to pull the apple butter out. Alright, there's the apple butter. And then the plums. Not bad for free produce. If you're interested to learn how I did make the apple butter, if I get some more free apples, I will make a video. But it was pretty easy. I will definitely want to make it again. Thanks for watching.